There's no volume, oh. Almost 15 minutes. Gone. No volume. No voice.
Are we on yet? Are we on at all?
We are on.
The serious one.
We can hear you. We can hear you.
Let's just be patient with him.
Okay.
I guess it's the network.
Probably.
Hello, good morning, everyone. Can we hear me? All right, if you can hear me, you can just please say yes on the message section. Can anyone hear me or can everyone hear me? Apologies for the slight delay, but we are back now. Then we can have our MMR. Are we together? Yes, thank you very much. My name is Jeremiah. So we'll be analyzing the chart to see opportunities for now. Now, the first thing to do as regards the module to analyze the chart is to first check fundamentals. Let's first check Forex Factory. Step one, check Forex Factory to see what events we have on our fundamental chart. All right. So according to Forex Factory, we have just few news for today. One has been out 4 a.m. for NZD. And then another one will be coming up by 12 p.m. for CHF. And then we have two news for USD 3 p.m. All right. So we can go big on technicals for the London section. Why? By during New York section, we expect that news for the USD. Right. So let me now go to the charts and then we'll start looking at what we have for today. So I'm presently on my MT5 platform to check for opportunities. So there will be analysis for both short-term or long-term opportunities. So let me start first with the USD pairs. Let me start first with the USD pairs. I'll just analyze like 2 to 3 of them, and then I'll move to other pairs and then commodity and then indices. All right. So the one I have first in front of me here is the what's it called? New Zealand USD dollar. So there's a very clear approach that I use in getting my buy or sell. I have a clear mechanical approach that I use, and then I don't just buy and sell. What is it called? Anywhere. So for quick emphasis, I can say that anytime I am buying or anytime I intend to buy is usually because of one out of this. So let me just streamline it to two. Let me streamline it to two. So it's either I am buying at horizontal support. So I will always use this as reference. That's one reason for me to buy. I can buy if this is happening, or I can buy in an uptrend after a pullback. Yeah, this is another reason why I can enter a buy. Now, the two reasons why I can use a pending order for buy as well is that I can put a buy limit, use a buy limit at horizontal support. Yeah, so that's one reason why I can use a buy limit, or I can use a buy stop above the last lower high or higher high of a trend. Yeah. So these are all of the reasons why I can enter a buy at any time, either with a pending order or an instant execution. So if we flip it, we'll get the reasons for sell. So the reasons for sell will now be sell at horizontal resistance, that's one. Sell in a downtrend after a pullback, that's two. Or use a sell limit at horizontal resistance, or use a sell stop below a lower low, or higher high, or higher low rather, a lower low or higher low. So those would be the reasons why I would want to, yeah. Right, so now let us use this criteria to now begin to filter trades for buy. So if I want to buy for a very short period of time, I don't have to pick my trades from the H4 time frame. I can use it as an analysis, as a reference point. So during the London section for NZD USD, the market is bullish, right? Let me just open another NZD USD chart so that I don't confuse my criteria. Yeah. So this is starting from the H4 time frame. Where are my horizontal support and resistance? This is the support, and this is the resistance. See, that's the high and the low of this trend. Then when I scale down, so I'm scaling down now to the H1 time frame. On the H1 time frame presently, our first area to have opt in for a buy, price has gone above that area already. So this would have been very good area to enter a buy because it is on the horizontal support. And now price has somehow gone above that area. So what other chances again do I have to buy? It means I should see an uptrend now. Now, for me to buy in an uptrend, I simply need a pullback. So I have to see, something like this happen. I have to see a higher high and a higher low, especially one higher low. The higher high must have to go above the previous lower high. This was a lower high previously. So this area, price is supposed to go above it to make sure that the higher high is very clear. And then I can now open for my buy. Now, that is still a swing trade setup. That is still somewhat like a swing trade setup. So let me scale down to a much lower time frame, like a day trade time frame, like the 15 minutes time frame. Yeah, here now I can still get opportunities for buys. So what I have here is that price is testing this area. So if we will remember the criteria I said that I need to see for me to enter a buy, just bring this here, put this here. Yeah, you see that one of them is that I can use a buy stop above the last lower low or higher high of a trend. So this last criteria is very much applicable to what I can see on NZD USD on the 15 minutes time frame. So this area where price is testing now, for the uptrend to be true, because if I'm positioning for a day trade, I only need a small amount of pips. It means I can then use my buy stop side of this area. My buy stop somewhere around here. Yeah, so buy stop can be, a little bit above here. So I can use, I can put my buy stop in an area like this to target the continuation of the uptrend, Yeah, then my stop loss can somewhat be in an area like this. Then my TP can now be above. Because it's a day trade, I just need, what is it called? A fraction of the move. I just need a fraction of the move for me to enter my trade. So let me rechange this. Or I believe this is my network. I think it's my network. So what I'm trying to say in essence is that I would use my buy stop in this area. Yeah, this is where I would put buy stop. Then this is where I will put my stop loss. Then my TP will be in this area. Yeah, so I can do that, or I can just simply wait for instant execution. Once price gets to that first area, I can use that immediately as my instant execution entry, right? For me to target the continuation of the buy. Simple as that. So let me check one more USD pair, USD JPY, right? So on the USD JPY, I can see on the trend, when it comes to trend, now in line with the higher highs and the higher lows, you see this, okay, this is a swing trade setup. So this area, price has been moving in an uptrend. The uptrend will be invalid once price goes below the last higher low, or maybe this level here. So that's why my stops are here. Now, if I scale down to, let's say, the 15-minute time frame, and I want to, position for a new buy entry, and that entry would simply, according to that same rule, if you see it here, use a buy stop above the last higher low. See, that's a clear direction bias to target the continuation of the buy. But if price goes below, let's say price goes below this area, yeah, and hits this stop loss, what I would just need to do is to wait for a pullback, and I'll continue to sell. That's it. if it's not eating there, then this is my most preferred area for them, for me to position for a buy. So my buy stop would be in that area. You see if my, yeah, okay, it's fine. Yeah, so my buy stop will be in this area because the eye there, this thing and I'll go above. Once it goes above like this and it takes out lower high, it's possible it does some form of pullback, or sometimes it might not do that. Then it would now continue in the uptrend, just like what it did in this area here. See, that's exactly what happened here when this price was, it used a downtrend to observe its pullback. Then immediately it took out the last lower high. It continued in the uptrend. Get it now? Right. So that's my approach for the USD JPY. So just save this move. This. So let me look at some two more currencies, and then we'll move on to some commodities, right? So let me go to the other JPY pairs. So this is British pounds JPY, presently on the chart of British pounds JPY. So for British pounds JPY, they are both short-term and long-term perspective on it. Let me start first with the long-term perspective. So the long-term perspective is that it's still in an uptrend. How do I know? Because it has been creating higher highs and higher lows. Now, until price takes out this last higher low, it is still in an uptrend, long-term perspective. So now, if we see all of this move that price has done so far can now be interpreted as a pullback. All of this move can now be interpreted as a pullback. Now, that move that we are seeing as a pullback, if we check on the lower time frame, so let's say I highlight all of them, all of those places, yeah, and then I now scale down to the time frame like H1, it will be seen as a clear downtrend. So any swing trader, if you are the type that you trade for a long time, you would, just as what happened, it's simple. The market is just repeating itself, just rinse and repeat. Exactly what happened here when it was doing this first, see this first pullback here. Now that downtrend, all you have to do is to put a buy stop, use the buy stop to follow the downtrend and just place it above the last lower high. See it, place it here above the last lower high. Just have to put it here, place it here above the last lower. So it is that same ideology that we'll use presently for this move on British pounds JPY. Those of us who love to pick swing trade, so would take a buy stop, put a buy stop above this last lower high. See, my buy stop is in that area. Now, if it goes below, if it goes down and it doesn't pick your buy stop, all well and good, and then it creates another lower high, continues to go down as well. all we have to do then is to now take our buy stop and move it here, right? But until price takes out the last higher low that created the last higher high, it is still considered as an uptrend. And that level, as we have seen from the higher time frame, is this area here. Is this area here. So the price goes below this area, it's still considered as a downtrend. So you would want to, for swing traders, you would want to put your buy stop above the last lower high. Now, for a day trader, the pullback of the higher time frame uptrend is creating a downtrend. Anybody who wants to enter now, for example, on the 15 minutes time frame, the person will see a clear downtrend. And the rules of a downtrend is when you sell in a downtrend, simply put your stop loss above the previous lower high. So what I mean is, if price is moving in a downtrend in this manner, let's say it goes down, then you can see a pullback, then we can see another new lower low again, and then there is a lower high. There's a newest lower high. Get it? Now, if you sell, once you sell, let's say you sell here, once you sell while it is going down, sell. The rule of the downtrend is that you are now supposed to put your stop loss above the previous lower high. This is the previous lower high. Yeah, your SL will be here. That's the most conservative place to put it. But if you now want to use a very tight stop loss, and I'll put it. So anyone who wants to day trade or scalp on JPYPX, especially the British pounds JPY, and you're trading, let's say, on the 15 minutes, because you are seeing a clear downtrend and you want to trade for a very short while, it's okay to enter a short-term sell, this area. Yeah, so once you enter the short-term sell, just put your stop loss above the previous lower high, and then your take profit and easily target a 1:1. Why? Because it's just a short-term trade. You get it? But anyone who wants to trade for a long term, for a swing trade, the person should use a buy stop above the last lower high, just as I have illustrated here. All right. So let me go now to the chart of gold. Let's look at what is happening on gold. And we'll now touch on indices. So let me go to the chart of gold. Gold. Yeah. So every chart, like I said, has both a long-term perspective and a short-term perspective, depending on what aspects you are trading from. There's always a long-term perspective on every chart and a short-term perspective. The long-term perspective is whatever is happening on the higher time frame. And then the short-term perspective is whatever is happening right now at the moment. So higher time frame might be pushing for a buy, then lower time frame might be pushing for a sell. It means if you want to trade for a short time, you're supposed to follow what is happening presently. But if you want to trade for a long time, you're supposed to wait until price align itself with what is happening on the higher time frame. It is as simple as that. All right. So presently now, I am on the chart of gold. I'm on the chart of gold. Gold, higher time frame. Let's start first with the higher time frame. We've been saying gold has been very volatile for a while now, and then recently we started to observe a drop. Now, this can be interpreted in two ways. For one, it can be seen that this can be a sign of a reversal. Why? Because we can find a double top, and this should be the break of the double top. The double top is above here. Double top is above this area. See, so this can be the break of that neckline. So it's okay to envisage a sell on gold for the time being because of the pattern we are seeing there, right? So now, if we scroll down to the lower time frame, like the H1, based on what we have seen on the higher time frame, it's okay to envisage sells on gold because we are seeing now the formation of lower highs and lower lows. And just like I said, if you sell in a downtrend, simply put your stop loss above the last lower high, right? So if I pick trade on gold H1, I'm swing trading. That's a swing trade. I don't expect to be out of that trade anytime soon. If I sell from this area, in line with a long-term view, I would easily put my stop loss above the previous lower high, which is this area here. This is where my stops will be. Then my take profit, I now target the last lower low. So the last lower low will be in this area. That is my bias for gold. Now, however, if I want to day trade on gold, if I need to day trade on gold, I need to now scale down to like 10 minutes time frame. And anything that would make me to sell in line with what is happening on the higher time frame is what I will look out for. All right. So on the 15 minutes time frame, I can see the formation of the downtrend as well. 15 minutes, I only need a short-term move. That's what I need. So if I'm selling on 15 minutes time frame at the moment, I'm selling at the 15 minutes time frame at the moment, a very tight stop loss will be, somewhere around this area. Okay. Yeah. To be somewhere around this area. Yeah. Yeah. Then my TP just be a simple issue one. Yeah. So because the higher time frame is moving in a downtrend, I can easily also position myself for a sell on gold. As simple as that. Then indices. Let me check the indices chart. Indices. Let me do the US 100 indices market. US 100. Yeah. So I'm presently on the chart of the US 100. Chart of US 100. Then, like I said, every chart has a short-term perspective and a long-term perspective. Let's first start with the long-term perspective. We move higher to the higher time frame. That's always where to start from. Then we try to see what move, where is it getting to? So US 100 is in a clear uptrend. We have an uptrend going on. Where is the next resistance? Since a resistance is the area where the uptrend might end, potentially end from. So I can easily target this area. Okay, US 100 is in an uptrend. Now, for this uptrend to continue, ideally, subjectively, we can see a pullback or might not see a pullback. US 100 is that volatile. But the key thing to take away from the higher time frame now is that it is in an uptrend. So as much as possible, whatever it is I do on the lower time frame is to target the continuation of that uptrend that I've seen on the higher time frame. It's as easy as that. Whatever it is that will make me buy is what I would be looking out for. Now, according to the rules that we have for buying, all of these rules that we have for buying, either horizontal line, uptrend, buy limit, or buy stop, any of those four things make us buy. And there are now different ways to approach the buy on the US 100. So, for example, let me scale down more to like the 15 minutes time frame when we have weaker opportunities. It's already moving in an uptrend. If I want to use the approach of a buy stop, because it is buying, so I'm only thinking of buying at the moment. If I want to use the approach of a buy stop, I'm supposed to just put it above the last higher high in line with my rule. I easily put it above the last high. So it should be here. Buy stop on US 100 and be somewhat in this area so as to target the continuation. You see, buy stop here. This is gonna buy stop a bit. Yeah. Inside of this area. Yeah, and then just so as to target the continuation of the buy. Now, if I'm going to use a buy limit, I'm going to use a buy limit. I need to target the previous support level where my buy limit will be. Any one of them is what I can use, all right? But if I'm going to enter instantly now, then it would also be an instant buy as well. I'm going to trade on the US 100 instantly. It will also be an instant buy. Stop somewhere here, right? And target upward. Remember, you need good volume in your account to be able to trade the commodity class and the indices class with rest. You don't trade it with capital that is very low. Trade it with a good amount of capital. So this would be my approach for the US 100 because it's fine. There's actually no point going against the current trend. More so, the resistance is really above, right? So that's how I'll be approaching my US 100, right? So we also have the DE40, DE30. Yeah, DE30, which is also this. It has the same chart as DE40. Which one do I have here? Okay, I have DE30. The same chart as the DE40. So let me analyze the DAX as well. DAX chart. Okay, I'm now on the DAX chart. Higher time frame perspective. That's to help with my analysis on the lower time frame. So higher time frame perspective showing a buy on the DAX. This used to be the area of resistance that was important before, and now price has broken above it, right? Clearly, remember, you need good amount of money to be able to trade this conveniently. So let me scale down to the lower time frame. It's a buy. It's a buy. Whatever it is that will make you align with the buy more is what you should do. That's it. So we have three approach. It's either use a buy stop, a buy limit, or an instant buy. You would need to use an instant buy and simply wait for some type of pullback at any level on it. You need some type of back at any level on it in order for you to initiate your buy, or you can simply use the buy stop above the last higher high, which is this area here, or you can also use a buy limit at the previous higher low, which is this area here. This price is going through a pullback. So because the higher time frame is buying, and there's no pullback on the higher time frame yet, it's wise. It makes a lot of sense for us to position and continue in that move, right? So that would be our analysis for today on all of those instruments. So for recap, you can easily go to our YouTube channel to look at the recap again for those instruments and see how we analyze before we then position and take trades.